This is Benny. Every morning Benny would wake up early, get dressed, fix some breakfast, and then go outside to wait for his friend, the sleepy bear, to wake up so they could have breakfast together. But one day the sleepy bear just wouldn't wake up. Benny tried everything to wake him up, but nothing worked. So what was Benny gonna do? Well, he could try tickling the sleepy bear's nose with a feather. Maybe that would work. But when Benny got closer to the cave, he saw something amazing. There was a tiny hole in the roof of the cave just big enough for a little bit of sunshine to peek through. And do you know what? The sun was shining right into the sleepy bear's eyes. When Benny saw this, he had an idea. He quickly ran home, grabbed his umbrella, and came back to the cave. Then he stood outside the cave and opened the umbrella so the sun wouldn't shine in the sleepy bear's eyes. But when the sleepy bear finally woke up and saw Benny standing there with an umbrella, he just went back to sleep. Benny thought for a moment. What else could he do? Well, he could try waking him up with music. So Benny started to play his favorite song on his little recorder. He played and he played, but the sleepy bear just kept on sleeping. As Benny looked around for another way to wake up his friend, he saw a little squirrel dancing on top of a tree. So Benny had an idea. He walked over to the tree and asked the squirrel, "Would you mind dancing in front of the cave? Maybe the sleepy bear will wake up if he sees you dancing." "Of course," said the squirrel happily. And the squirrel danced and the squirrel pranced, but the sleepy bear just kept on sleeping. After a while, Benny went over to a nearby bush where a little rabbit was hiding. "Excuse me," said Benny, "but would you mind hopping in front of the cave? The sleepy bear is still sleeping and I want to wake him up." "Sure," said the rabbit, and he hopped in front of the cave a few times. But after each hop, he hiccup, 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 and then he just started hiccuping non-stop. Benny thought this might be a good way to wake up the sleepy bear, so he just kept on hopping. But no matter how much he hopped or how many hiccups he did, the sleepy bear just kept on sleeping. Finally, Benny sat down on a nearby log feeling very sad. He had so much delicious food waiting for them, but it wasn't going to get cold. If only someone could sing a beautiful song to the sleepy bear, maybe then he'd wake up. But who could sing such a wonderful song? That's when Benny noticed a group of snails slowly inching their way up a leaf. "Excuse me," said Benny, "but would you mind singing a song to my friend the sleepy bear? He's still sleeping and I want to wake him up." "Sure," said the snails happily, and they started to sing a beautiful song. They sang and they snuck, but the sleepy bear just kept on sleeping. At this point, Benny was getting very frustrated. Why wouldn't the sleepy bear wake up? Did he have to do something really drastic? Well, he could always tell the sleepy bear a bedtime story, but usually he only did that at the end of the day. But what if he told the story backwards? That would surely wake him up. So Benny took a deep breath and started the story. Once upon a time, long, long ago, they lived happily ever after. The end. The sleepy bear started to laugh and laughed and laughed until he woke up. "What?" he asked. "What's so funny?" "You were sleeping," said Benny, "and I was telling you a bedtime story backwards." "Oh," said the sleepy bear, "that's funny." And he got out of his cave and went to breakfast with Benny. And from that day on, Benny knew exactly how to wake up a sleepy bear. The end.